Now at 5 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, Ganado police released this photo of a man who may be responsible for illegally dumping trash. A local church gifted a new home to the Humility Project to help homeless people in Victoria. ERCOT is once again asking for voluntary conservation amid the extreme heat in Texas.
Well, you know about the heat, but do you know what's going on in the tropics? Well, first we've got this, which is Brett. Then we've got another one here, and then we got another one here. And of course, our temperatures continue because today is the first day of summer. James?
Authorities in Eagle Lake have a few clues, these parts of a Ford SUV, as they search for the suspect in a fatal hit and run. You're watching 25 News Now at 5. Good afternoon. Thank you for being with us. I'm James Munoz. Karina Garcia has the day off. The DPS is trying to solve a fatal hit and run. It happened on FM 3013 and FM 1093 in Eagle Lake, June 17th or June 18th. Authorities recovered the front grille material you see there and front bumper parts, possibly from a Ford SUV. 50-year-old Alejandro Madrid Juarez was hit and killed. The driver never stopped. If you have any information, call DPS Houston 281-517-1300. Ganado police have surveillance pictures of a man suspected of dumping more than 500 pounds of trash. It happened during the early morning hours last Saturday. Ganado police also have photos of the suspect's truck. The trash and waste was dumped in the work area on the north side of Ganado. If you have any information, call the Ganado PD 361-771-2800 or call the Jackson County Sheriff's Office. The Humility Project has a new home. The Unitarian Universalist Church on Crestwood Drive handed over the keys to Director Kim Pickens. The Humility Project says it plans to use the home to provide better services to homeless people. The Unitarian Universalist Church never recovered from the COVID-19 pandemic, so church leaders decided to give the building to Kim Pickens and the Humility Project.
Work with them for applications and whatever they need in order to get their footing, but also to provide them with an address they can use for mail, to also give them a place where if they need to come and sit and have some water, have a conversation, get out of the elements.
So the new address for the Humility Project is 1791 East Crestwood. If you'd like to get involved with them, call Kim at 361-433-5388. Here's your viewer poll this afternoon. You can scan the QR code right there on your screen to vote now. Are you familiar with the Humility Project? Your options: I've donated, I've volunteered, I've used services, or no. We want to hear from you. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to participate, and we'll have an update on what you and your neighbors are saying on 25 News Now at 6. Leaders at ERCOT are asking for voluntary conservation amid the extreme heat.
ERCOT is predicting temperatures this season to be less extreme than last summer.
The temperature map shows about half the state above normal and the rest near normal or slightly below.
Austin is in that above normal section for now. Today's voluntary conservation notice is one step above a weather watch. Weather watches, like the one issued last week, will likely come up again this summer, but CEO Pablo Vegas says these notices don't indicate that the grid is having reliability issues.
But it's kind of like when you're listening to the weather and they say, hey, stay tuned, there could be severe weather in the future. Stay tuned for more information. That's what we're doing with the weather watches.
Vegas says that summer inspections are already underway. The entity anticipates inspecting around 600 facilities between June and September. ERCOT is also discussing changes stemming from the 88th legislative session.
The best approach is for complying with the new changes in legislation.
This session, more bills centering on the market and ERCOT operations made it to the governor's desk. One of the largest being House Bill 1500, called the Sunset Bill. It allows ERCOT to continue operating, but establishes a firming requirement, a new ancillary service, multiple cost caps, and abolishes the Renewable Energy Credit Program.
Pre-URI, that was around 100 bills every session, and post-URI, it's been 250 to 300 bills.
The National Weather Service issued excessive heat warnings for 2 area counties. DeWitt and Lavaca counties are under excessive heat warning until 9 o'clock tonight. The National Weather Service says to expect maximum heat index values of up to 118 degrees and temperatures of up to 112 degrees. Mac, I went for a walk around 8 o'clock. It wasn't so bad compared to a few of the other days.
That's 8 in the morning?
Yes, sir.
Well, very good. I'm amazed.
Didn't walk very far, okay?
Oh, I'm amazed, but you did it at the right time, you know. In fact, for the folks that are thinking about electricity, just do it early in the morning or late at night after the sun goes down, because that'll help all of us in knocking down how much utilities we use. Hey, popsicles, that's probably what you got when you got back, right? Because summer began today at 9:58 in the morning, just about the time that James was walking, and the forecast is for continued hot. Coming up, we'll be talking about the heat and the tropics as well. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Thank you, Mac. Attorney General Merrick Garland is pushing back on accusations politics played a role in Hunter Biden's plea deal. Hunter Biden agreed to plead guilty to 2 tax misdemeanors as part of a deal with federal prosecutors on a felony gun possession charge. Republican lawmakers called it a double standard, saying Biden's punishment is a slap on the wrist, while former President Trump was criminally indicted. Garland rejects that idea.
As I said from the moment of my appointment as Attorney General, I would leave this matter in the hands of the United States Attorney, who was appointed by the previous president and assigned to this matter by the previous administration, that he would be given full authority to decide the matter as he decided was appropriate. And that's what he's done. And if you have any further questions about that matter, you should direct him to the U.S. Attorney to explain his decision.
The DOJ is expected to recommend probation for those tax misdemeanors. The gun charge will likely be diverted or dismissed if Hunter Biden abides by certain conditions for a period of time. A section of I-95 in Philadelphia closed after it collapsed following a deadly gas tanker crash and fire is expected to reopen to traffic as soon as this weekend.
More than a week ago, this section of Interstate 95 in Philadelphia burning and breaking down after a gas tanker lost control, crashing and exploding, killing the driver. Repairs were predicted to last months, but now Pennsylvania's governor announcing
the traffic will be flowing here on I-95 this weekend.
This time-lapse video captures the damage and gaping hole after the I-95 overpass collapsed on June 11th. Now that gap is nearly filled. It cost $25 to $30 million. The governor praising local workers for pushing the repair timeline well ahead of schedule.
This is what it looks like when the ingenuity of Delco meets the grit of Philly, and we work together to get it done.
This weekend, state police will escort paving trucks to the site where those temporary lanes are set to open by the weekend, largely because of these recycled glass nuggets. By using tons of them to fill in the area, crews are avoiding potential supply chain delays tied to other materials.
Glass aggregate is not new. It's been used in Pennsylvania for 7 or 8 years. It's safe, it's sound, it's ready to go to work.
There is urgency to fix the roadway, not only because of the inconvenience to the estimated 160,000 daily commuters, but also given the risk to supply chains, with truckers forced to take long detours. The governor says the temporary lanes could open Saturday or Sunday, depending on the weather. Meantime, crews will continue working to install a permanent new overpass. Justin Finch, ABC News, Washington.
Here are some of the top headlines you can read in the Port Lavaca wave. Law enforcement busy with 17 arrests. The Calhoun Port Authority Board approved joining the Victoria Economic Development Corporation. Port Lavaca has a new skateboard shop. You can read these stories and more at the portlavacawave.com. And for more on today's news stories, come to crossroadstoday.com. Read the Texas Tribune article about Houston ISD's new state-appointed superintendent. That's under news. And a reminder to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today News. Hit the like button and click on the notification bell. Stay with us. Straight ahead on 25 News Now at 5. 24 people are hurt following a building explosion in Perez. Also ahead, the U.S. Coast Guard still frantically searching for a submersible that went missing Sunday. Erupted at a women's prison in Honduras is now up to 46 people. The deaths happened on Tuesday at that women's prison just outside the capital. Authorities have identified 23 of the victims. Honduras has a history of incidents at its prisons, criticized for being overcrowded with poor conditions amid an increase of organized crime. Search crews are combing the sea for the vessel that went missing while taking passengers on a tour nearly 13,000 feet below the water. The group was to explore the wreckage of the Titanic.
The minutes melt away on search crews' potential to find people alive as oxygen runs short on board the missing Titan submersible.
The surface search is now approximately 2 times the size of Connecticut, and the subsurface search is up to 2.5 miles deep, exponentially expanding the size of the search area.
The longer it takes, the less likely that, a positive outcome will occur.
But all hope is not lost. Cutting through the darkness of the deep sea, consistent banging noises have been detected during the search.
We don't know the source of that noise, but we've shared that information with Navy experts to classify it. In the meantime, it's a target, it's a focus for us to look at. And so we've deployed the remote operated vehicles and the surface vessel, the Canadian Coast Guard surface vessel that has sonar capability in the vicinity.
You can't ignore the banging, and you don't have time to wait to analyze the sounds exactly. So you have to assume, I think, that they're human-made.
Until the sub is found, there's more questions than answers as to what happened. Right now, all experts can do is speculate.
Was there a problem with the porthole? Was it a problem with the pressure? Was it a problem with the valve? But if a submersible doesn't go back to the surface on itself, on its own, it's really that there is a deep problem.
In Boston, I'm Chris Wynn.
Police say a strong explosion hit a building in Paris's left bank, leaving 24 people hurt. The blast caused a fire and prompted the evacuation of buildings in the neighborhood Wednesday. Paris police say the facade of a building collapsed. Emergency services were working to determine if anyone was still inside. Authorities say a gas leak caused the blast. Authorities are investigating whether there was a safety violation and rules violation and whether criminal charges should be filed. A decline in blood donations could put stress on the U.S. blood supply throughout the Red Cross. The organization worries the number of blood donations will only continue to go down this summer.
As summer heats up, blood donations are going down.
Last month, we collected over 26,000 fewer blood donations than needed to meet the needs of patients.
Tiffany Taylor with the American Red Cross says it's common to see blood donation declines this time of year as more people are traveling and fewer blood drives in places like schools. But she says the need for blood doesn't take a summer break.
When blood donations are low, this can lead to blood shortages, which affect our ability to support cancer patients in their treatment. It affects our ability to respond to medical emergencies and chronic blood conditions.
If blood isn't readily available, it can also lead to postponement of elective surgeries. Taylor says low donations are especially concerning for the approximately 100,000 Americans who suffer from sickle cell disease.
There is no widely available cure, and they often rely on regular blood transfusions to manage their pain and prevent life-threatening complications.
While donors of all blood types are needed, the Red Cross is especially in need of type O, which is always in high demand. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Here's some of the top headlines you can read in the Cuero Record. The new fitness court opened at the Cuero Municipal Park. DeWitt County Vietnam veterans awarded some scholarships. And Pastor Glenn Robertson celebrates 30 years with the First Baptist Church of Cuero. Read these stories at the DeWittCountyToday.com. Mac?
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and congratulations. Today is the first day of summer. Yes, and just because of that, we went and hit 100 degrees this afternoon. Right now, it's 97. The heat index is up at 117. And as I mentioned, 100 was our high today, and 79 was the overnight low. There's not a whole lot of change in the short term for us. There's a lot of activity in the tropics, and we'll have all that coming up in just a moment. Stay tuned. Good afternoon, everyone. First day of summer today, and we just in honor of that, we actually hit 100 degrees today. 104 in San Antonio, 99 in Houston, 102 down in Corpus Christi. These are not normal numbers, and these numbers are going to go down into the record book as if it stays like this through July and August. Can you imagine? Look at the temperatures around Texas, 98 up in Amarillo, 98 down in Brownsville, and of course out in far west Texas where there's lots of sun and lower humidity. less moisture, it's really soaring up there into the 113 categories. 113 yesterday's high in Del Rio. Now, these are the forecast highs for tomorrow. Tomorrow it knocks down a degree here, a degree there, but still the summer rolls on and the heat rolls on. In the Crossroads, we didn't have much in terms of cloud covering. It was wall-to-wall sunshine, but once again, I don't know why, it just keeps happening right there at, well, the dry line, really. The thunderstorms have popped again. Junction, going through Harper and Kerrville, and these are big ones. These are the ones that pop up late in the afternoon, and they're hungry big storms right there, probably dropping a lot of heavy rain and maybe even some hail, but that is not anywhere near our area, although it's possible that they keep generating once the sun goes down, and then we're going to have to watch to see which direction they've got. The heat advisory continues for our area. The excessive heat warning, which is red, continues for the entire state, and right about here is where those thunderstorms are popping up. Well, we've got to go to the Atlantic, folks. Lots of activity. We've got first Brett here. We have the potential of Cindy here, and you're not going to believe this. We have the potential of Don right here. Now, these storms are moving over incredibly warm Atlantic waters, and when I say incredibly warm, I'm talking 85 to 90 degrees. You know, and for open water, that is hot. I mean, for the bay areas, which are shallow here along the coast, we see 85 and 90, but this is mid-Atlantic. That's pretty amazing. Now, Brett is just a strong tropical storm. It's not a monster, okay? But it is going to be going right over the Lesser Antilles in the next couple of days. In fact, on Thursday, it will be rolling right across Martinique and Barbados and those areas as a strong tropical storm, almost a Category 1. So it's not a monster, and people will still have a pretty unsettled day there, but it'll be only on Thursday because by Friday it rolls out into the Caribbean. Ordinarily, anything in the Caribbean, I would go crazy. I would go, oh my God, it's coming and we got to get ready. But this one's very interesting. I'll tell you why, and I'll try to explain it here. The storm is forecast to weaken, Brett. Oops, I put too many T's. Brett weakens, okay? So here's Brett today, and you can see, you know, is it going stronger or is it going weaker? Most of the models are bringing its strength down to below tropical storm in about 48 hours, and that is because it's running into an area of opposing winds. That's that shear we talked about, so that's going to be interesting. 92 tomorrow in Port Lavaca, in Cuero. They're getting up to about 98, and for us, yes, we're going to stay around 98 as well, and all the way through the weekend, we're looking at high temperatures near 100. Excuse me. That's your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody that we do have a QR code. We want you to scan that and put Crossroads Today on your phone. Toss it back to James.
All right, Mac, thank you so much. Coming up next, we're going to take a look at your stocks. Plus, lab-grown meat is cleared for sale and production in the U.S. The Dow down 103 points, the S&P 500 losing 23 points, and the Nasdaq off 166 points. Oil up $1.34, closing at $72.53 a barrel. Two companies, Upside Foods and Good Meat, say the U.S. Department of Agriculture has cleared the sale and production of lab-grown meat in the U.S. Good Meat advertises its product as meat without slaughter, a more humane approach to eating meat. Supporters hope it will help fight climate change by reducing the need for traditional animal agriculture, which emits greenhouse gases. Good Meat will start production right away. The Federal Aviation Administration is launching the Stand Up for Safety campaign to help reduce near collisions of aircraft. It's requiring thousands of air traffic controllers to attend new monthly training. The FAA says it will dig into topics driven by data and seasonal challenges. The first topic will address reducing incidents at airports. In recent months, the FAA has made other changes in ATC towers and facilities, including requiring supervisors to have a more hands-on presence during busy times. Stay with us. Mac is in with one last look at your forecast. Plus, a store in Mexico is welcoming stray dogs so they can get out of the heat. Digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, and Android TV, and on your cell phone, search Crossroads Today Plus. The Electra store in Durango, Mexico is welcoming dogs trying to escape the heat. Here's a video of one now enjoying it. The region is going through its third heat wave where temperatures will feel like 104 degrees. The director, Grupo Salinas, gave the green light for Electra stores to welcome dogs since the heat affects pets. Yeah, and you have to put some shoes on them because the pavement's so hot sometimes.
Oh, I
some
imagine.
kind of shoe,
Can you imagine?
Well, welcome to the first day of summer.
Yeah, isn't that great? Yesterday was the last day of spring.
Okay.
Did it feel like
Could have fooled me.
Could have fooled all of us. I mean, we don't do anything according to the weather calendar. Yes, folks, today is the first day of summer. It was a scorcher. We got up to 100 degrees. Not a lot of change there. What is interesting is that the Atlantic is quite busy at this hour of the day, and for this time of the season, it is very, very active. So we'll be certainly watching that for you. But whatever you're doing to stay cool, keep doing it, and try and minimize your energy use in the middle part of the day when the sun is the hottest.
Yes, and reach out if you have trouble paying that bill. Lots of people
right,
do,
you
and
can.
there's help out there. All right, thank you, Mac. Thank you for being with us. We hope to see you back here tonight for 25 News Now at 6. Don Brubaker's in for that. World News Tonight with David Muir is up next.